Right, for NZB I am now catching up with Mr. Cam Bray. Hello, Cameron.
How you going, Paul?
Very well. That's the last time I'll call you Mr. as well. Started off very, very sensibly, but congratulations. Terrific day today of selling horses, 3 days of sales. Probably plateaued a little bit in the middle, but great day today, great vibe, great feel with everyone around the place. I know there's still some people wouldn't be happy, but just a terrific feel.
It's a horse sale, Paul, isn't it? You know, and especially you just said earlier on with our own production, you know, you go from Auckland, which is an average of historically in the 50s, now 60s, and you come into a sale where we've averaged 45, 50 on a good year, and we've all of a sudden you get with that drop off. And I think it's just taken a little bit of time to work it all out. Number of other things like the change of season, I think, is really starting to show that these sales are potentially a little bit early. You know, we've had
good luck with that, but yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, well, we've had 1 2-year-old race. So at the end of the day, if they want to sell horses by new season size, we're going to have to give them a chance to get runs on the board, because, you know, historically New Zealand hasn't been a great place for buying first season size anyway, but you're basically into your third season before you know what's going on. And I think that had an impact here, to be fair. Yeah. A lot of Captain Crunches, a lot of Always Be Mickeys, a lot of horses that, you know, are new horses. They just aren't able to get the runs on the board, you know. And
the Captain Crunches, one in particular, there's been 1 2-year-old race here. He couldn't have been more impressive. But everyone says one win doesn't, and they're spot on. One win doesn't make the horse a good horse or a bad horse, but that horse is good. But if in another 6 weeks, if Ukraine comes out and wins another 2 races, and one other one comes out and wins, everyone's going to be like, I want to be on these crunches. So this moving back, I don't know what your thought process is. I have a funny one, but mine doesn't count for a lot. But I honestly believe there should be something after September. I really do. I think it could fit in and could work for the right horses. But that's a thought for another day. But I do think today was a credit to NZB and the buyers and the sellers for potentially meeting the market.
Well, again, it is what it is, mate. If you breed them to sell them, you've got to sell them, mate. And I think we saw today our clients were better at getting them on the market. You know, it's those golden words, we're on the market, we're for sale. And quite often we got a few more bids over it. But if people are sitting on their hands thinking, oh, well, I'll wait till this thing's on the market, we're in a standoff. You're in the old Mexican standoff, and I think it just took us a wee while to work that out. It's been like that for a number of years, but I've never seen it to probably the extent of what it was yesterday. It was hard yesterday, really hard. And then we got onto some good horses, and you end up with, I think I passed 6 or 7 horses in a row, then sold one for 200. So, you know, go figure. But today was good. It felt good. Felt like we had a lot of fun. You know what I mean? You could have a bit of fun with people.
People are having fun out there.
Yeah, it's good. So that's what it's all about, you know what I mean? It's hard to create atmosphere if everyone's at loggerheads with each other and you're trying to, you're the poor the poor bastard in the middle trying to balance it all out. But it is a horse sale. That is invariably what happens from time to time. And we are tidying up quite a few of these past-in horses, so that's quite heartening too.
We haven't spoke on the clearance rate, the clearance rate and that yet, and I don't have to hold you to that. Today there was some impressive lots going through. I spoke to Dean Shannon there before, who I think he purchased one for himself and I think another 4 or 5 for the Tab clubs, which he has. Quite interesting. But one for $340,000, a beautiful colt, full brother to Don't Stop Dreaming. But he said to me the other 4, he said, I was prepared to go a little bit more. And I was like, I don't think it was in the interview, but then he said, actually, I was prepared to go even more. He thought he would have to go more for that horse. So I think that gives a realisation of the quality of the stock that we're actually here. I'm out here, Crandell. Getty put his hand up 14 times, or 13 times, I think, because one of those 14 is actually the horse for Dean. Nathan, they've gone well. Stonewall Stud as well. It is terrific. I think it's really good that there's a massive spread. It's not all Stonewall. It's not all any of those guys.
Yeah, no, and it's always going to be that way here because of the professional trainers and the amount they have on here. You know, one thing I think we've seen less and less of over the last few years, and it's probably just been price dependent, is the guy who used to come and buy a horse to trade. You know, it's well known here in New Zealand that we are a trading country, so we've sold a lot of horses as racehorses out of this country. I think with the way things are gone, they just got a little bit expensive for some of those guys. They can get them in other formats.
They can probably do a deal afterwards. Which we've already spoken about, that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's all interesting, you know, and we'll sit down in the coming weeks.
week after next probably, and just have a bit of a discussion about how things went. We've got a few thoughts on what we can do to try and improve and just probably take a little bit of cost out of it for not only us but for the vendor, for the purchasers. We may very well look at a one-day format here in Christchurch with a inspection or parade day, and then have a one-day selling where we'll sell 250 odd lots in one day.
Yeah. And on that, and I don't disagree with that idea, because you guys are thinking, but maybe the people selling horses probably have to think about which horses they bring as well. So it may end up being 200 horses, and then they work a way around it. Whether they get involved with you guys on Gavel House, or there's other means and ways that they can get involved in it as well. Because if they think, well, this horse might not meet the market, well, come and talk to you guys and maybe think about a different way. And you get enough interest, you might do a late sale. You might do a sale later in the year or something. You don't know. Like there is always these options. Don't keep them to yourself though.
No, well, and we've already talked about it internally. We've done it with the thoroughbreds to a pretty good extent. The Book 3, the old day of Book 3, and the dark old days there pre-online sales. That's now an online national yearling sale, which are eligible for the Cracker Millions. Yep. So we are able to do that, and probably will likely put up an opportunity for that, regardless of what happens, because the economics of bringing a horse to a sale at $5,000 and selling it at $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000, someone's losing a lot of money, right? We're not making a lot of money out of it. They aren't making anything out of it in a lot of cases. There's an economical way of doing it. We can do it on Gavel House Plus, where we'll promote it as an actual yearling sale. It's not going to be a weekly sale. We'll run parades and do all those sort of things to do the job right, but just gives them a bit more of a low-cost option of doing that.
And please, anyone watching this, and I'm saying I think it's an Australian-wide issue. I think everyone needs to stop, have a look at what they're doing, and have a bit of a think about it, because it's a bit like what Dean said out there before. Stupidity is doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result. That's what he's come in here is to change it, and I believe it's up to the entire industry right across the board, from trainers, drivers, lift our game, lift our professionalism, breeders and sellers. If you want to sell your horses, think about how you can sell them and how you can best meet a market of people that might want to purchase your horse.
The other thing that we haven't considered, which is just me telling you right now, we have a very successful sale in the middle of winter already for weanlings, which are eligible for the Harness Million. Now, if you're someone who's bred a foal, and and it mightn't have the most flashiest pedigree, and you're looking to exit the market, that's a very low-cost option of doing it as well. We've seen guys from Southland take horses there and have had a result. He's going back, so that's always a good sign. So we do have a number of options in the market now, and I think we've got to be more flexible with the way we do business. You see our big studs now in New Zealand are very flexible. There's mares that you would sell yearlings out of them one year, weanlings out of them the other year. They're back to yearlings, sorry. So you've just got to be nimble, be able to move with the market forces.
And NZB are prepared to do that as well, which is what we want. We want people to be able to be flexible right across the board. Cam, thank you. Always fun. Thanks to NZB as well, looking after me as they do. I really do appreciate it. It's been good. I think all the people who I've interviewed, people I haven't interviewed, I thank them also for their feedback. But congratulations on your sales. There'll be some people saying, how can you get congratulated? There'll be other people saying he deserves more than one beer. So that's the highs and lows of this game. But I think overall, well done to the entire team from NZB. I think you've done an awesome job, mate.
At the end of the day, it's about trying to exchange the product with the buyers and the sellers. It's never going to work all the time. Expectation and reality sometimes are two very, very different things, and all we're doing is trying to be the intermediary. As you say, people will be happy, people will be upset. That's a horse sale, unfortunately, and sometimes it is what it is. We have been doing this for long enough. We know how the market works. We know how the market changes, and we'll be here next year bigger, better and brighter.
And when Lancey comes back next year, you go picking on that accent of his, and you'll have me throwing rocks at you as well as him. You've got to leave us Aussies alone.
Sorry, what'd you say? I don't understand.
Thank you very much, mate.
See you later.